Hey, what it do? What the business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. Holla at your boy, still Cowboy Nation. As you can see, the stars are still behind me. You may be down, but we ain't out.
Y'all might as well be out. I can pack this little season up.
Hot about that too. This is the worst possible scenario. I'm so hot about that. Season over week one.
That's some slaw.
Come on, man.
I don't wish that on nobody. Not week one. God damn.
One's nuts. Man, Jesus Christ. How'd your football Sunday go?
Listen, I knew it was over play one. So it don't even nigga first play of the game.
You knew it was over when the ayahuasca came out, when he said he was over in Colombia on that ayahuasca this offseason.
That's true.
That nigga ain't still hot.
That's what I'm saying. But he dropping dimes, but it don't matter if niggas can't catch, though.
Can't catch him, man. They cannot catch him. But this is the On Deck TV show, man. We here for hip hop. What we got this week, AB?
Absolutely. Action-packed episode, guys. Listen, guys was rocking with the Jay-Z B-side favorite records. So we decided to double back. This time we're going to do Weezy, man. Weezy F Baby B-sides, our favorite joints. I got 5. Lou has 5. Hopefully we have a different 5. But I got some plan Bs just in case. And we got some overlap. It's all good. Also, verses, man. Are they in trouble? Because there's another movement already bubbling with Babyface Ray and Larry June doing something very similar. And also, Cyhi. Have you been paying attention to his Instagram live lately? We're going to talk about his retirement talks, along with his issues with labels and how they relate to these RICO charges. But first, Sauce Walka, man, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Kind of Sauce. This made me change my opinion.
Sauce was in Cali, LA over the weekend, man. Cowboy hat and all, full Texas mode, iced up, and apparently someone attempted to rob him, in which that person was then shot and killed on sight. Sauce took to his Instagram live and issued a warning to young black men out here doing things like robbing, and giving them a warning saying it could lead to things like that young man laying on the street, man. So my question was, were these wise words coming from Walker, or was he doing too damn much? Great
question. And I'm so glad that you let it in that way with the, not calling you out here, but wrong information. Because I looked at it and I thought the same thing that you did. This dude tried to rob Sauce Walka, and Sauce Walka shot him, killed him, and he put a PSA out. However, not what happened.
Right.
After doing further research, because the damn Instagram post definitely didn't spell this out, it happens that this man was robbed by someone else, and this same dude tried to rob Sauce Walka, but he got away. So the guy who was killed was actually a victim of a robbery. He just didn't make it out like Sauce Walka did. The nigga who robbed them is still at large. And of course, Sauce Walka caught heat for this because he made it appear in this Instagram video that he shot a nigga for robbing him. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And if you just scrolling through and see that headline, that's what you're going to think. And it almost looked like cap because he came out with a whole video and never clearly described what happened.
Yeah.
Now, he had a little scuffle with the dude who tried to rob him. He was able to escape with a black eye, busted lip, he said. Unfortunately, the dude who they showed in the IG clip lost his life because he was fighting over his jewelry. Sauce Walka, of course, came out later and said, I didn't mean it that way. I was just letting you know that everybody ain't going and some people gonna die for theirs. Unfortunately, this guy lost his life. The family can reach out to me. This is what happened when you try to shuck it out, bro. Like, don't come try to shuck it out, act like you done killed the nigga, popped the nigga, trying to get more popularity over some bullshit. Sauce Walka gets, I feel like he has as big as he can get with what he got going on. And this feeble attempt to get more notoriety fell flat on his face.
Yeah, he was clout chasing until the real story came out. If you listen to the original clip, he does allude to, he never explicitly says that he shot the person, but he definitely alluded to it, that somebody tried to rob him. He shot him, and he said, I even got blood on my sneakers. He put that on Instagram. Got blood on my Louis V's. This bum ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like he was gonna make a moment out of this. or he was at least attempt to. Now, like you said, it turns out that the people, his family, the victim's family came out and said, bro, he lives right in front of that. Wasn't there? You telling me he tried to rob you in front of his own house? Like, that's not adding up. This dude was like a business. He wasn't even no street dude like that. Like, he was a business nigga, regular nigga, had bread and everything. So, like, why would he try to touch you? Like, none of it made sense to the family. And I'm glad that they were able to come out and kind of shed some light on that, which then forced Sauce Walka to double back with another video. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, we're going to honor this fallen king. You know what I mean? No. And stop the real clout chasers. And look, man, his original statement, again, I know he alluded to one thing, but he didn't actually say it. So I'm gonna hold him to that. But what he said was, if niggas out here trying to rob and shit, like, be prepared. Like, you might get killed behind that. And so there's a message in that. If you just take that in its own section, that's one warning that may still ring true. But the way he tried to use it as pub, it's a shame because he's not the first person to use something as pub. Pac's been accused of this, for Christ's sake. And that's one of the greatest rappers of all time, dude. So I'm not going to just act like he the first to do this, but it's a shame that people instantly go to that and try to use shit as pub, even when it involves a body that you had nothing to do with.
Absolutely. And I do want to make it very clear, in my opinion, it was a mistake to do so. However, peeling it back a layer and addressing what you said as far as the message behind it.
Yeah.
Now, I credit Sauce Walka with being somewhat of a street nigga. I wouldn't peg him as a lame. I wouldn't peg him as a nigga who I felt was square and was acting out a role. So my biggest problem with it is he has to know when you put this video out, this ain't deterring a nigga that was about to rob you. Because we asked the question how the time when you're looking at the Kingpin videos, a motherfucker selling all this weight, making all of this money. Well, why didn't he just stop? Yep. Because they always figured out, I'm going to be the nigga that make it. Yep. So when somebody see this video of Sauce Walka, they're not going to be like, damn, let me not rob niggas. A nigga's going to think, oh, well, I'm not going to get shot. Look at his dumb ass. Nope. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just speaking in general. People are going to be like, oh, look at this nigga. He was a lame. He got shot trying to rob. I'm this, I'm that. I'm going to be able to pull it off. So Sauce Walka should know, because he comes from that environment, that if this did happen the way that you say it, the best way to handle it is not say shit, bro. You handled your business. A nigga came up trying to rob you. You ain't nothing else to be said about it. I handled my business. We kept it moving. I ain't got to do no Instagram movie or nothing about it. It's unfortunate that we live in these times, though, that he felt like that this was a clout thing. Even if it had happened that way, it would have been a bad way to go about it, in my opinion.
I mean, he's seen how much clout the baby done got off of that shit.
Yeah. So
like, this is it's first of all, I want people to understand it's always been like this, though. Like, I don't want people to be like, man, social media. And no, niggas was doing this way before that. Like, let's be 100% clear.
It's an episode on The Sopranos that almost deals with this. When he was the black guy paid one of the mafia niggas to shoot him in the ass.
Sure did.
About to getting robbed. Like, it was Bokeem Woodbine. And it was like almost playing into that thing. So like you said, people do this. It is a thing. This. However, it's nuts to Sauce Walka. I feel like he shouldn't have to stoop to these levels of that to get where he needs to be, in my opinion. Yeah. That being said, your girl JT from City Girl fame was out partying this weekend, fresh off the FNF remix with our girl Glorilla. She had a verse on there. A couple other people had a verse, but Saweetie verse was not cleared.
Yep.
However, DJ Play felt it necessary to only play Saweetie's verse in the presence of JT while she was in the club vibing in VIP. And he also had some bars that he said over the microphone addressing at her, which I'll let you get into. But my question here is easy, AB. Is it fair or foul for JT to be mad that the DJ played a verse that wasn't even released or put on the song?
Yeah, she has a gripe, mainly because the DJ kept shouting her out as if that was her verse. And if I'm someone that has some talent like JT, and I'm being confused for someone who doesn't have talent like a Saweetie,
oh man,
you got me fucked up, then you're gonna sit here and tell me that that's me. Like, stop playing with my name, put some respect on it. Like, don't do that. Like, you're a DJ, bro. You know the difference between Saweetie and JT City Girls. At least you should.
You should.
And you should know which version you're playing. How did you get your hands on the fucking unreleased whatever version anyway? Like, what?
Well, they claimed this one caught fire online after it was rumored that her verse didn't get cleared. So he was supposedly playing the DJ, the exclusive shit.
Okay. He dropping bombs on it, flex bombs and shit.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine. You got to know what you have on your hands and stop naming somebody else if you know that's not them. That's stupid. With that being said, though, I'm gonna keep it a stack. The remix is mid, and Lotto, that's my girl. I think she's super dope. I think JT is the talented one out of the City Girls, and I think there's a charm to Glorilla. But the remix don't work to me. Like it didn't do nothing for me. And I think that beat fire. I don't think they wrote the beat like they probably could have. I can only imagine what the Sweetie version sound like. It's probably worse because she is some slaw. So who knows if the verse didn't get clear or her verse was trash. Either way, I thought the remix was mid. I was super let down.
They said it was for contractual reasons that she didn't get it on. No way you were super let down. I haven't even listened to that song. I'm not even sure what you were expecting. The DJ's words to her were, this was in Texas at the camp KAMP party. He intentionally played Saudi's verse and kept saying, JT, boy, if you don't get your delusional ass on. And kept saying that as her verse played over and over. I'm not sure what that has to do with. I guess he's saying that she had a better verse and JT was delusional about her role on the song, something like that. But I do get personal. JT's. Yeah, that's my point. And I get what JT is saying. It's like, it's cool if you want to play another motherfucker verse, but you wouldn't do this to a man. Like you're only handling this way and yelling obscenities over the microphone from the DJ booth and trying to get at me because I'm a woman. And you don't think that I have any retaliation towards you. And I think that that's a fair point. I mean, if T.I. walked in the club and you had a Ludacris verse on there and you kept playing Ludacris verse and you're like, hey, Tip, I don't know now, bro. Like, something gonna happen to you. Like you not now, T.I., but probably back then, T.I. Sure. And with that being said, I just think that he was trying to pick at her and it caught fire and she did a great job at bringing attention to it. And she spelled it out. She said, most of these niggas in the industry are catty and weird is what she said. I don't want to put more words in her mouth, but I was glad she was able to address that and kind of put DJ Play in his place.
Yeah, that's weird. Again, it sounds personal. I'm not sure what his point was. Like, I'm confused at that. But what I was expecting was a good song. The original song is catchy. So I seen that Lotto was on the remix, and I fuck with her. She dope. So I was like, let me check this out. She didn't snap. At least not on first listen.
Why hasn't anyone done the girls' night out? Like, I feel like this
2022 version.
Yeah, like this was the song. Fuck nigga free.
Facts. Should have been about 7 people on here.
Yeah, like why not? Is the industry like? I was reading it somewhere. I think it was last week when we were doing prep for the show, but it didn't make it in. It's a quick hit, but they were talking about. I think Meg may have said how they try to pit the industry against each other as far as women.
Yeah.
Do you think that has something to do with why they don't collab, or you think it's more personal reasons? Because it seems to be clashes everywhere.
It might just be business, dog. Like, bro, these verses are not free.
That's true.
So you finna get a Nick, and look at Nicki and Cardi, and nigga, that's 250, nigga, right there. Like, what we talking about? Like, these motherfuckers not doing that shit for free, nigga. What?
That's exactly true. And yeah, you ain't getting no free verses, but I feel like a swap or something, like a Glorilla on Nicki's upcoming CD or Cardi's upcoming CD will be cute.
It's not equal.
No, it's not equal at all, but I mean, it will be cute.
Respectfully,
it will be a moment. I feel like we at that place where women need that moment in hip hop, something bigger than a man. Like, my point in saying that is hip hop is about moments, experiences. Now it's so that the music is so in influx, we can go get music streaming from anywhere. You have a moment when you got Nicki, even if they ain't in the same studio. If you have a Nicki, a Cardi, a Meg, and a Blotto all on the same song, that's a moment. Like, that's going to last for a long time for Glorilla and just women in hip hop period. I feel like it's time for that to happen.
But we've said the same thing about, man, you know what would be dope, nigga, if Puff and Jay opened up this. Nigga, it ain't happened, dude. We've been talking about that forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it'd be dope if these two people did this or connected. It's a whole lot of shit. I'm sure it's a whole lot of politics going on because people can look at that as like like you're trying to get at somebody before someone else gets at them, so that you can befriend them before somebody else befriends them that you don't fuck with. Like there's a whole bunch of politics, but and then somebody like Glorilla who's new to the industry will be caught in the middle, won't even know it, bro.
Right in the wrong place. Can't we all just get along?
Exactly.
Larry King voice or Larry, what is his nigga name? What was the nigga name? Rodney. All right, moving on. Is this?
Nah, this me, man. Listen, we talked about this earlier, man. Versus is on hiatus right now. They're going through litigation and all kind of shit with Triller. Who knows when the next one is going to happen? So, with that being said, Babyface Ray and Larry June have taken matters in their own hand, and they're doing a little mini tour, a versus-like tour, one in San Francisco, one in Detroit, in their respective hometowns. It is called Sound Clash. All right, it's brought by Red Bull. Shout out to Red Bull. And so they're doing a Larry June versus Babyface Ray, and then they're doing a Paul Wall versus Gary Clark Jr. I don't know about that.
Who is Gary Clark Jr.?
I thought he sung or like played the guitar or some shit. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But my question is, with versus on ice right now, do you look at this as a good news or a bad news situation?
This is an interesting news situation, especially if I were Timbaland or Swizz Beatz. I feel like Larry June is bubbling. He's a hot name out in the streets. I feel like he ain't made it there to where he probably want to be yet. Same thing for Babyface Ray. Babyface Ray on the come up to one of the bigger names in the Detroit rap scene as well. Both of them still have some ascending to do, but they're in a good place. So if I'm Swizz Beatz or Timbaland and I catch wind of this, I kind of want to make a call and tell them to just hold off. Let us get everything situated with Triller. Y'all go on tour, but don't do it this way, and let us do something together. Let's make a deal that we're going to put y'all on deck when we get this back rolling like we want to. I know there are going to be knockoffs of verses because it has been successful, but what I would try to do if I were them is keep the brand as pure as it could be. And I do feel like that these two artists are as established enough. They're not washed. It's kind of a new viewpoint to a verses because you would have current artists who aren't like legacy acts doing the verses and kind of see how that plays over. So I would kind of try to make a phone call, politic a little bit, see if I could get them two to hold off for a bigger bag, maybe offering them some more money for a later reconvene this. Go ahead and do your tour, Larry June. If I'm Swizz Beatz, if I can help you in any other type of way in order for you to hold off on this, I'll try to do that. But I would definitely be interested in this and not want this to spark other ideas or people who may be more popular and then it really get out of control. And those being people that I can't call and barter favors with. Because if Drake, when Puff and JD decided to do this, it ain't really nothing that Tim and Swizz gonna be able to call and say, other than what y'all need me to do. They still hold a little bit of leverage in this situation with these two guys, and I feel like they should use it, not to stop it, just to slow it down, let them know, hey, man, you can get in on this. It's a bigger thing happening. Just hold off before you go to pushing sound battle verses.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Red Bull has done these sound clashes for a couple of years now. I think it started in the mid 2000s, but it crosses over genres and it doesn't have the same like matchups that like in 2011 they had Ludacris that was kind of going. He was challenging Mike Posner.
Yeah. So this is some like who listens to that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And so it's a matchup style, but not quite. Versus has perfected it. And here's the thing: there's a lane for a versus style joint with newer acts. Babyface Ray is on the come up. Larry June, for all intents and purposes, is on the come up. Versus is more about legacy acts. So if Jermaine Dupri and Bad Boy and So Def did their own thing, then that's a problem. Because that's right up versus alley. That's on brand for them. Babyface Ray and Larry June is not necessarily on brand for them because they're not legacy acts yet. So I wouldn't see an issue if they did this. I wouldn't really trip off this if I was versus, but it is a slippery slope and you might have a snowball effect. It could be this one day and then you look up and it's Puff and JD and then you look up it's Death Row and somebody else. Then you look up it's No Limit Cash Money. And now niggas have forgot about versus. They don't even care about what y'all got going on. So that's the problem. I did see, shout out to Timbaland though. I seen him over the weekend at the circle of the CEO conference. My partner invited me out to. Shout out to my guy. And Timbaland was there and he was getting interviewed and they touched on verses, but not really. He probably kind of hollered at them like, man, don't ask me about that shit. But he didn't talk about like the legal shit. But I was sitting there thinking, man, they got to get that shit back up and rolling, dog. Like, or at least trademark the whole joint or some shit. Do something, dude. Cause I don't want to see that slip through their hands like that.
I hope it doesn't, because this is the perfect time. It's about to get back cold outside. The weather's about to change. People will be inside more. Like, it's the perfect time to crack it back up with a big matchup. So I hope it works out.
For sure.
Lastly, before we get into our B-side Lil Wayne versus in our B-side series, your man Cyhi is considering retirement. He got on his IG live. He went on a long rant, about 15 minutes, and says the labels told him, Cyhi, you got to get hot in the streets, buddy. And he's blaming them for the RICO cases that are coming down here in Atlanta. My question to you, AB, is there any truth, or do you believe what Cyhi is saying here?
Yeah, this is interesting, man. Cyhi talked about retiring. He asked, should I just retire on Twitter? And then he hopped on live, had about an hour-long session. Shout out to my guy, Cash Gotti, because I was mad because I missed the live. And then I went to go find it afterwards, and he already deleted it because I was interested in seeing it. My guy, Cash Gotti, threw me the oop. The link is on YouTube for the full hour-long joint. So I watched the whole thing. There was a lot to unpack in there. But this specific part about labels telling people to get hot in the street, including him, he said, bro, that's not what y'all think that means something different to people that's actually in the street. So y'all are taking it like, man, go get your mixtape, go work your mixtape and get this song popular. And he said, no, nigga, when niggas hear that shit, they think they got to go do something a little bit more drastic than get their mixtape popping. Like, niggas gonna crack somebody's head, niggas gonna rob something, niggas gonna do something like that to get hot in the street. And he said that is a lot of the reason for some of these RICO cases, some of the artists doing what they think that they need to do to get popular, because all that comes with some type of notoriety. We know what that does, especially for a city like Atlanta, when you've got the streets behind you. We know what that movement looked like when BMF was behind Jeezy. The streets vouch for Baby on a daily basis. That means a lot. That cachet goes a long way. So I can understand to a certain extent of what Cyhi is talking about. But on the flip side, we also have a ton of examples of artists who literally they were told get themselves hot, and they did just that through music. T.I. is a main example, but he got dropped from his label. He went on a Chitlin Circuit tour with his own recorded with new material. And he got hot in the streets through that Chitlin Circuit route and got a new deal, and the rest is history. So where I understand how it could be misinterpreted by some of the people that Cyhi knows, whether that's the label's fault or those people's fault or fucking, I don't know, their parents' fault, nigga, whoever. I don't know about that, though. I think the blame got to be divided. I can't just put it all on Universal.
What I hear when I see this, and I didn't watch the whole hour, so I will say that I watched 15 minutes of it because I'm just not that in I just don't want to know. With that being said, when I see this, when I listen to the 15 minutes of a nigga just don't like doing his job. And in my opinion, when they're telling you, hey, go get hot in the streets, that's a part of your job. Your interpretation of I gotta go murder a nigga, I gotta go get 10 bags in, like that's you saying that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that the labels aren't, well, they're not pushing you towards that, but in the examples that you gave with Jeezy and T.I., like you said, they went out and they got their name hopping in the streets. And it wasn't due to violence. You didn't hear about them shooting niggas, the Baby style. It wasn't no robberies associated with it. And that's the difference that you have when you have niggas who are from the streets and associate with real street people versus a nigga who, like Cyhi, he has an interpretation of what he thinks the streets are. No one's asking you to go out and bust heads. No one's asking you to do that. All they're asking you to do is go campaign. Go do your job. Make yourself hot. Now, if you think that shooting a nigga and robbing a nigga is making you hot, that's on you. Like you said, that's on your OGs, the people that raised you. Yeah. However, it's been proven that that's not what a record label is telling you to do. Don't try to convolute the water here just because you're not getting your way. I think he's being very manipulative in these statements just because the record label is not doing what he wants them to do. Because again, like you said, I saw Jeezy get hot in the streets. And yeah, BMF was associated with it, but it wasn't violence. Like that was promoted. It may have been shit happening, but that ain't what we saw. It wasn't niggas getting those weren't the headlines.
You know, it was niggas getting snacks and Range Rovers and Lamborghinis.
It was niggas like the stories that we heard about Jeezy was like, man, that nigga pulled up and it was like the whole booth was lit up because of the diamonds and shit that he had on. Yeah. When you in the streets, you understand what a campaign is. It's pulling up at the clubs. Me and my homies is popping bottles. We got the fly shit on. We got the hottest shit outside. All the bad bitches is with us. We got the ice on. Ain't none of that got to do with nothing of robbing or stealing to shoot the nigga. That's what you do when you are a rapper, when you try to make yourself hot. And if you don't want to do that, Cyhi, if you want to write niggas bars because you're good at that, stop complaining about the job, nigga. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah. Man, I will say this, though. Even though it wasn't an hour long, it was very good. He was a very interesting storyteller. I thought it kept my attention the whole time. And he gave a little bit of background of how things started with him in the streets, again, according to him, and how he got to the point where he was at meeting Ye and all that shit. One of the biggest takeaways, though, he said when we all first, well, the majority of people first heard him on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, on the song with him, Jay, Ye, all them. That was the first time a lot of people heard him. He said he was homeless and broke when that came out. Homeless and had just got through getting an abortion with his old girl. Nigga was living with her, jumping from place to place. He was broke as fuck. I thought that was super interesting. Shout out to my guy Kendall. He hit me with that, bro. Like, can you believe that shit? I was like, yeah, I do believe it. I thought it was respectable that he would admit to it because that's not always the coolest thing to do. But people got to understand, bro, like people living check to check at all levels, bro.
It's a road, man. It's a road to get here. Like,
yeah, it don't stop. Like he's not going to rap about being check to check, but nigga, that's the case. That's the case for a lot of people. And I don't expect him to rap about that because confidence is everything. You have to fake. If you have to fake it till you make it, you may have to do that to psych yourself out of whatever situation you're in. Because confidence plays a huge role in people's success. Hey, if you can't walk around, nigga. If you're broke and depressed and you walk around like that, you're not going to achieve none of what the fuck you trying to do. Like, it got to start there. So I can't knock him for that. But I will say it's a very interesting 59 minutes, though. He tell his story, man. It was actually pretty intriguing, honestly.
I'd love to hear it over an album. 100%.
If we ever get it.
Let me ask you this. Did you look at that for 59 minutes? Who did you know, we always do this thing, man. He looked just like, who did you think he looked like?
Who Cyhi look like?
Yes, in that video.
Famous?
Yes. I'm going to say the name and you're going to bust out laughing because
I don't know who.
You know who Tony Cox is?
Yeah.
The midget from Friday that threw out Miss Parker. Tell me he didn't look like that midget from Friday that threw the bitch out the house, man.
Oh, shit.
That's all I kept thinking.
His face all over the screen.
And that's right.
No, he looks short when he do that. That's
and he looked like he got a little bitty arms and shit. That was funny as hell, dude. And
all jokes aside, though, Cyhi, he was going through it on there though, and he had legitimate gripes and beefs. And real quick too, because I've always wondered this, and I always wanted to ask somebody. I forgot to do this with Wendy last time we talked to her. People always talk about how important it is to have your masters, and I always want, because people are using it in like TV shows and commercials, and I was like, nigga, how much realistically can you get off of a commercial if your song is played? Mm-hmm. Well, he said in there that the black skinhead that's on Yeezus that he wrote the majority of, apparently, that was in the Wolf of Wall Street trailer. Mm-hmm. He said the check came in for that. It was $500,000. So I was like, okay.
Is that a one-time check or is it like
continuous? Yeah, it's a one-time check for your song to be in a trailer. So I was like, okay, if that's what the checks look like, then I can understand owning your masters, dude. Because that song has been played in like 6 different commercials, dude. So like, I'm assuming the check was for that one commercial. He didn't specify anything else, like something like a Motorola deal or something. So maybe 2 commercials, but niggas, 500 bands.
When you say going through it, then what you mean?
You said
he didn't. When you say going through it, he didn't appear broke. He had his new teeth and shit.
Yeah, no, not necessarily even broke, just on some mental shit.
Oh, okay.
Like he would be like he was supposed to do. He did favors for people. He'd been screwed over by Akon brother and different people. He talked about his intro to the game. It was actually really good though. Like I can't even front. Obviously, I wasn't sitting there standing the nigga face the whole time. Right. I'm moving about my day, but I'm listening. Right. Like it was compelling.
I always wonder what the expectations are for him, though. I mean, for just people in general, you've heard how weird the music business is and how people operate it. Of course, like we were just talking about, you always think, oh, it won't happen to me. However, as talented as he is, and I know this sounds cliche, I wonder why he wouldn't just keep working. Like, it's gonna catch on. Like that nigga got damn near a classic album and verses saying, you know what? I'll take these lumps. I believe in the art so much, I'm just gonna keep putting this shit out. Fuck. Like he skews towards, it's this nigga fault. It's this nigga fault. I need $1 million for the record. It's always something. It's always like, it's almost like he expected this to be perfect. And it's not. This is not what the music business is, bro. Everything that he's came out and said there was a problem, like those are things that you deal with in the music business. It's like a painter, like expecting to go to work and not get dirty. Like, bro, you're gonna get paint on your clothes. You work with paint all day. It's the business. So I just don't understand, like, the stuff that I've heard him complain about it's music business stuff, bro. Like, keep going. Some of that
is true, and then some of it is like when you look at this as your dream job and it can turn into a nightmare, that can hit a lot of people a certain way. Look at Andre 3000, bro.
Keyword, that job. Like, it's like me and you, like, if we make millions of dollar podcasts and it's still gonna be obligations and a job at that point. Like, it's still like, you gotta keep trucking.
I would recommend if you're a fan of Cyhi to check out that video though. It was pretty interesting, man.
Nice.
We talking Wayne B-sides. Shout out to the Jay-Z B-side episode last week. If you didn't hear that, check that out after this. I've got 5 records. You've got 5 records. This is dope because we've talked about Wayne. We've ranked his discography. We've talked about mixtape Wayne. We've never talked about the B-sides, which he has plenty of. Let's be very clear. Throw me one out, man. What's the first one that came to your mind when you started putting this together?
You said plenty of. I feel like Wayne's B-side are difficult later in his career because everything was such a fucking smash. Like, he got a lot of just hits, like Carter 3 and 4. Like, it's just a lot of mainstream songs.
I mean, shit that didn't have a video. I'm looking at shit that wasn't no single, but I understand there's a lot of shit that still made waves.
Still made it, exactly. Yep. So with that being said, I did go back, far back to get some of mine, and I will start with that Wayne on. Which one I want to start with? I'll start with The Block Is Hot.
Okay.
And I got Fuck the World because I just knew that you wouldn't have that on there. If you're not familiar, it's one of Wayne's older tracks before down near the Hot Boys time, but way before like he went to Lil Wayne we know now. But the reason that I like this track is because back then you didn't get a lot of thought-provoking material from Cash Money. It was just more so bling bling. This was a curveball in their repertoire, and I loved it. I was here for it. I used to have this song on repeat when this CD came out, if you remember CDs, but this was definitely one of my favorite B-side Waynes. And that's Fuck the World, Block Is Hot.
I don't curse, but in his verse, man, Fuck the World's the only song he cursed on that album. That was the shit. I'm gonna keep it Block Is Hot too. And again, this is a B-side because it's not an official single. But if you went to Teen Night, then you know what that Loud Pipes did.
Loud Pipes, Big Rims, nigga.
Listen, listen. That used to shake Teen Night back in the day.
Nigga. Bitch, you would never ride 20-inch chrome. We used to walk around saying that to people like this in school. Like random, I promise you. Like we would go, like, I never forget my homeboy Marquis. Like you have a hall pass in high school, so you just fucking with people, you get a hall pass, you be out. Like, we'll just go knock on the class that you in, have them come, can you get such and such for me? And yell that and run off, dude. It'd be some funny shit. But yeah, that was a classic.
Loud Pipes, Big Rims, nigga. That's my life. So that's more of a posse song. It's a couple of people on there or whatever. But it was the shit. And Wayne verse, he ripped it. Just a fun song, man. That was show Wayne how talented he was as a teenager. I think he was 15, 16 when this album came out, which actually even makes Fuck the World that much more poignant because he was so young. But yeah, that album was good, and that song was one of my favorites off of that motherfucker. That Loud Pipes is the shit.
Absolutely. You want to go next? You want me to pull the other one that I have?
I'm gonna go next then, man. I'll go back to Bike. I'm gonna go Carter 3. One of the best joints on there, one of the most creative in a sea of creative joints, excuse me, because he has several. That Let the Beat Build was a standout though. The way he literally let the beat build and crescendo up to its apex, I thought he played that fantastically. This album did 1 million out the gate. This was one of the fan favorites off of that, several more, but that was also a favorite of mine. I just like how creative it was and letting the beat add in piece by piece, sound by sound until it came to what it was. And he spit and he ripping it in his bag the whole time. So Let the Beat Build was one of my favorite joints on Carter 3 B-side wise.
Let the Beat Build is a good one. I'm staying in the past, and I'm going all the way back to the Hot Boys album. Mm-hmm. If you remember, like you were saying, Team Night, man. That Team Night from Get It How You Live, Block Burner, Lil Wayne. If you know, you fucking know. If you was outside when this was on, then you know what this song did. B-side, because there wasn't no video or anything, like you said, Cash Money was really slept on around this time. So everybody wasn't aware of No Limit was the more popular group from the area. But if you knew, you knew. And this was one of them songs, man.
That Block Burner beat is so hard.
Still today, to this day. Matty Fresh is really just disrespected as far as what he did. Jesus, man.
And niggas got to give him more props, bro.
100%.
That's the shit though. Everybody's solo song on that album was banging, if I remember correctly though.
I listened to that at least once or twice a month. I'm going in a timeline here, I guess, and I had to choose on Carter 1. I had 2 songs on there. The runner-up was Miss My Dogs, because I wasn't sure if that was a B-side or if that was a popular song. It was hot when it came out just because of the context of it. If you remember Miss My Dogs, then you know. But I went with Birdman Jr. That goddamn song, that was like when you thought Wayne was maybe still a kid, thought he was still playing, you didn't know if he was going to be able to make that transition. This is the song that done it for me. Even after the squads, even after all that, it was this. And I was like, shit.
Nope.
That nigga was ripping this.
Yeah, I had to pick one off of Carter 1, and they were both either one of those. I have them literally listed. I Miss My Dog or Birdman Jr., depending on which one you selected. And then you select both of them real low key. I'll just go with the other. I Miss My Dogs is a classic Lil Wayne song. Obviously, he's speaking to the friendship and the brotherhood he had with the other hot boys, Juvie, BG, and Turk. He called him out by name on there. And I remember that people there was a rumor going around that Gilly wrote this album, and this song single-handedly put all of that to rest, because there's no way on God's green earth that Gilly wrote I Miss My Dogs. It's literally impossible. He was very specific in that, like, I just refuse to believe, you're not going to ever make me believe that. So I Miss My Dogs is a standout. One of the dopest Lil Wayne records. Like if Lil Wayne had a B-side show, he would have to play I Miss My Dog. Like there's no
facts.
If answer, but if he don't play nothing else on my list, nigga, he has to play that.
This is what I want, the Lil Wayne B-sides. Like I want to see this show right here. And
got to.
I had to go off script here because I just had to pick this song. I just felt you definitely wouldn't have this, and I had to cheat to make sure that you didn't have it. But it's off a mixtape. And if you were in college during this time and you knew when this came out, niggas used to sing their heart out with this. Yes, the Lil Wayne sang. So this is the first Lil Wayne singing song. That's Prostitute Flames.
Yeah.
Like that shit was banging. It was different. It kind of got him into that bag in that lane. First off, I feel like it was one of the first songs that he did like that. It was real early. However, man, I just used to fuck with that. It was a vibe. The tempo was dope on it. He just shook it all the way through. A different perspective on a rap song than you usually take with the words that he's using and how he's describing the bitch that he wants. So Prostitute Flames is definitely one of those B-sides. Again, like you're saying, if I went to a B-sides Wayne show, he would have to do this. I feel like this is a cult classic.
Agreed. And that mixtape is superb.
Oh my God.
The Carter 3 Sessions.
That's the one with Something You Forgot on there too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's Something You Forgot is.
And the All I Have in This World and the I Feel Like Dying. Like that mixtape is stupid.
That's back when Lil Wayne used to be your favorite rapper. You sold out on him though.
What in the world?
Lil Wayne wasn't your favorite rapper then?
Lil Wayne was everybody's favorite rapper back then.
That used to be your guy though, because Tip was my guy. You sold him out for Kanye West and Drake t-shirts.
Yeah. Once Kanye came out, it was a wrap.
Lil Wayne used to be your man, like Drake. I mean, like Kanye, your man now.
No, for sure. Wayne was the shit though. Especially like squads and all. I was on board for all of that.
That was your guy.
Fuck, we're not gonna keep doing that though.
It was your guy, dude. You get to own it.
Everybody's guy.
Jump ship though. I'm still rolling with Tip though. Let's go.
I got two more, man. I'm gonna go Carter 2. I honestly think the second verse on this song is arguably Wayne's best verse ever, and that's best rapper alive. The second verse is absolutely ridiculous. Please go listen to that right now. The beat is crazy. The second verse is stupid. The first verse is dope as well. But this is when he was calling himself the best rapper alive, and you're crowning yourself. I spoke to that earlier about confidence and how important that is. You have to back it up. And verses like this, songs like this is how you back claims like that up. And so I thought it was super dope. It was perfect timing, dude. When you're talking big shit like that, you got to have big dope ass B-side records like this. So best rapper alive. It made people say, "Hey man, hey Wayne might be the best." Like this is what did it right.
When he was saying this, he was like, I don't even think
facts.
The discrepancy about that. And I too, for my last one, am going to the Carter 2, which I feel like is Wayne's best work.
Agreed.
And if you go all the way down to the 20s, you might not even made it to that. As far as you wasn't just locked in, but that Get Over. All three verses. Oh my God. I love that song. Any playlist, any Spike Lee playlist that you see on Spotify or Apple that's describing me or mood music for me, this Get Over is on there. All three verses from start to finish, the hook, everything.
Is that the sample?
Body. It's with the girl singing in the background. It's not a sample though. I think it's an original.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you gotta get over. You got.
Oh, yeah.
And we gonna be all right. Cause bitch, I'm gonna drink Patron out the bottle to the head. Now we getting bread. That's now, oh my nigga dead and ripping that.
Yeah.
Damn, that was slang. I'm gonna listen to that when we're done. Actually.
Yeah, that's the shit. That album, the shit, still hold up well too.
X.
I went more recent with my last one. I went Carter 5. Even though this was a popular song, again, there's no video, there's no single, so
the whole album B-sides.
Right. But that Mona Lisa with him and Kendrick.
Nice. I forgot about that.
Listen, I know Kendrick was the newer kid on the block. Wayne had turned into an alien and had kind of, was pussy monster for about 3 years in a row. So niggas didn't really know like what would happen if you got him head to head with a nigga like Kendrick. And these niggas went toe to toe, nigga. Like Wayne murdered this. So did Kendrick, though. Kendrick was on him too. But the song is fire. This is how a long-awaited duet is supposed to sound, dude. Like they're supposed to come up with something creative. You know what I mean? They could have went run of the mill, but no, nigga. Like this is some creative storytelling shit. Like how often does that happen? How often you get a nigga featured on somebody's song and they telling a story? Like this shit was ill. Carter 5 is a solid project, and we waited 20 years for it. It may not have lived up to that hype, but this song was the shit though. So very well done between them two. I love that song. That's a dope song. One of his best, more recent records, in my opinion.
I agree. I like that. That was a good list.
So you had nothing off Rebirth, is what you're saying?
I didn't have anything past Carter 2, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I almost put "Fuck the World" from the Hot Boys on here, but that's just a verse. It is like a posse song, but that's another one of my favorite. Like you said, that's one of those before he started cursing, but still threw that in there. We thought it was at that point in time, like, oh God, Lil Wayne cursed. Yeah. You had to be there. Do you find or have you found that you play some of this Lil Wayne older stuff and the newer kids that they may not be familiar with it? Have you ever found that?
I have not, but I can see that. I mean, this shit was in the 90s. That Hot Boy shit was 97, 98.
Wayne, one of the few rappers he spanned with 3 generations. That's rare, dude. 90s, 2000s, and 2010s.
And 2020s.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Wayne's still relevant, though. He's still relevant.
He is. That's true. Damn. That's gotta be difficult, man. Being famous for 30 years. Ain't nobody that he probably has been famous the longest, like as far as his life. Because he's been famous since he was 11 years old. He like
not
40.
True.
He that's like true. 40 now.
Yeah.
God damn, that's gotta suck, actually. That's why he weird like it.
That you got to be weird. You ain't got no choice but to be weird.
You know, there's never nowhere that he probably can go where somebody don't know him. That's crazy to think about.
And I'm good on that.
Man, that's got to be nuts. It's like you got to be weird like that. Niggas wonder why he do so much drugs and shit. Like, nigga ain't got no me time, dude.
Nigga gotta be spaced out. I wanted to pick something up that like Father Like Son, which I think is slept on, but I didn't have a chance to go and do a deep dive back into it. But that's a slept on project though.
The title track, Like Father Like Son.
Oh yeah, that was banging. Yeah,
absolutely. Facts.
Man, y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Throw us some B-side Wayne records, dude. I know we covered a bunch of them, but there's plenty more. Especially if we count mixtapes. He got hella shit. Catalog is stupid. Shout out to my guy that hit us up on Instagram. Was like, yo, where's the Wayne discography episode? Spotify is hating on some of our episodes because we used to play music back in the day. If you've been rocking with us for a long time, so we got to get those edited and taken out and then reposted. In the meantime, there's plenty more that are live, but we'll get those back up around the corner here. Appreciate your patience. Wins and losses time. First one up. Is this a win or a loss, man? A 4-year-old saved up his lunch money, racks on racks on racks, for a Boosie feature. Is this a win or a loss?
Big W, man. I made my heart smile when I see this, man. The recipes are not lost. The kids out here still listening to Boosie, man, and I love it. Influence him. I hope he didn't take that money for the verse, though. I'm hoping.
Man, I was wondering that, dude, because it's on video. He took the bread. I was like, I wonder if he kept.
I hope that was for the video, because like your boy, you put me on the video this week, and he brought up a good point. West Side Boogie.
Yeah,
that's what it was, right? When he was talking about why he don't do verses for the homies and how it devalues. He's like, bro, this is how I eat. So if I'm just giving everybody verses, then the nigga that's coming to pay for them, they ain't gonna want to pay for them.
Exactly.
So even on video, I understand why Boosie was like, nah, I ain't even a 4-year-old gonna give me my bread for it, even if he gave it back. But that was a good interview too.
Yeah, that but I ain't mad at the 4-year-old saving up the bread. I'm cool with that.
That's
bro.
good. That's dope. Like if he look up the Boosie, it sound like his dad listened to him or whoever that was in the background. That was a really cool thing, man. The 4-year-old apparently had a hit.
That's what Boosie said. We'll see.
Definitely checking for that.
It's a wide open lane for a kid rapper, like an innocent kid, Romeo Bow Wow. It's wide open for that.
Wide open, especially with social media, how it is now. The 5-year-old TikTok rapper, stop, bro. Yeah, millions.
Yeah, they need to get on that. WRL, there's a new tour. It's called a 3-Headed Monster. Who's the 3 heads, you ask? Cameron, Jada Kiss, and Murder Mace. It's a win or a loss. 3-Headed Monster tour.
This is like no disrespect to these guys. This is definitely a Groupon. This is definitely a Groupon ticket. I found it the day before for $25, and it was a hell of a value deal to get to see these 3 legends in concert. If you start talking to me about $100+,
nah,
now we got an issue. But if I'm getting that Groupon value for these 3 guys, then it's a win.
Yeah. This is a BOGO right here. This buy one, get one, and I cop. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with it. So they gotta be the BOGO, dude. But Mace might be all right. But Mace got some shit though.
Mace do. All of them got some shit.
All of them got some shit.
It's a night out. Like it's so much come with going out to see. Nah, yeah, it's got to be a deal. You got to be a deal. Definitely got to be a deal.
One more W or L, man. The Falcons football season is here. Atlanta Falcons released their new promo video, "Rise Up," featuring recording artists. Wait for it, Rotimi.
What is he from Atlanta? Oh shit.
Rotimi is not from Atlanta. He's from New Jersey, and I'm not even sure if his family is from this country, so he may not even be from the United States. So they caught a lot of flack for that, man. W or L for the Falcons promo video.
But this is a big L, man. This goes to what we talk about in here all the time when you're talking about advertisement, marketing. Black people gotta be in the room if you're selling to black people, dude. And the Atlanta Falcons have a primarily black fan base. This is a hip-hop rich city. Take your picks from JIDs, the Amaretta, to old school with TIGZ, Ludacris shit, whoever you wanted to do this, literally you had your pick, dude, but you went with Rotimi for some fucking reason we will never know. That's a fireable offense for negligence. That whoever is in charge of that, they should be like Monday morning after they came out, you should have to go to your boss's office and explain it.
What if they did that just for the pub? What if they were like, yo, this is going to have social media on fire?
Then they would be brilliant on the other.
That would be cool.
It worked. it there. Who is the worst person that we could get? Because that's one. That's what
I'm saying.
You know, that's one of those things you can't even fuck up and do that way. Like if you were trying to do it, you would have never thought of Rotimi.
That's true.
You had to be trying and be like, oh, okay, we'll take this dude. He got a nice price. But if you're looking at like, okay, man, who's it gonna be? His name would have never came up.
The layup though. I'm talking about the layup of all layups. Because let's be honest, I see T.I. like, hey, meet Jeezy and Ludo right here. Y'all budget is different from Rotimi's. Let's be very clear. Y'all not taking that Rotimi check and split it in threes, dude. The perfect one was right there. That Amaretta, dude.
Amaretta was dead.
The Saints is not Atlanta. Nigga, that would have been a layup, dude.
Layup. Or even more so, like people like Atlanta is one of the very few cities that's rich in culture enough. Like all they really had to do was put a press release out and reach out to a couple of these people's what is it called? PR people. Oh, come to the Dome on this day. We're shooting a commercial. We want all the local Atlanta rappers to be in it. Like, nigga, you had big dogs pulling up. Like, come on, bro. Plan it out right. Like, stop.
But the thing is, everybody, let's be clear though, everybody doesn't have to be from Atlanta. You just need ties to the city. Samuel L. Jackson used to do it
the rise
for
up
several years in a row. He's not from here, but he went to school here, and everybody knows that. So you can get somebody that just has ties to the city, dude. Yeah, they ain't even got to be from here. Like,
did they shoot Power in Atlanta? Maybe that's the ties. Maybe Rotimi and his role on Power just was here in Atlanta.
Maybe he from Atlanta in the show. Like, I don't know, bro.
Maybe that's it.
On Decker of the Week, man. Hey, we're going to YouTube as usual. Shout out to the new subscriber, man, Ben Stewart. Shout out to Ben Stewart. Appreciate the subscription. We got some comments too, man. Hendrix Loco, our guy. My favorite Jay-Z B song is Never Change from the Blueprint.
Shit, I love that song.
That's the shit. Shout out D-Dub. He said, man, my Jay-Z B-sides, All I Need, Blueprint. The Bounce, Blueprint 2. Shout out to Kanye. Let's go. Party Life, American Gangster. Thank You, Blueprint 3. And Murder to Excellence. Watch the Throne. That Murder to Excellence is crazy.
Murder to Excellence is crazy.
Appreciate that, guys. As always, man, leave a comment, youtube.com/OnDeckTV if you want to leave a comment. Put on what you got.
My put on, I found a new book on Audible a while ago. I've just started listening to it, though, since I'm about to re-pick up this show. It's called Difficult Men, and it's by Brett Martin. And it's about the leading roles of Walter White and Tony Soprano, and they like how it affected them off camera, on camera. And also talks about other people and how that particular character, like the bad good guy, how it came into prominence. It touches on Mad Men and a lot of other series too, but it's really good. He's giving you some behind the scenes shit on the Sopranos, which I love. But it's called Difficult Men. It's on Audible and it's by Brett Martin.
Dope, super dope. My put on is an interview that you alluded to earlier. I think everybody should check out Westside Boogie's Breakfast Club interview. I thought that was one of the dopest interviews of the year. He touches on a lot of stuff, but you don't even have to be familiar with his music to resonate with what he was talking about. But in case you didn't know, he's from the West Coast and he's signed to Eminem. Okay, cool. But he talked about therapy and grown man shit and being from the neighborhood and being a gang member and what that means for this career and how he's got survivor's remorse as it relates to it. It was just a really transparent, real talk interview. He wasn't on there doing a lot of capping and stunting. He was admitting L's, and it was very, very refreshing to see somebody that wasn't taking themselves too seriously, but was also, he seemed to be very in tune with himself, which I wish more people were able to tap into, man. I think a lot more things would get accomplished. A lot more people would go further if they could tap into that. And it was just, the self-awareness was really refreshing to see. So I've never watched an interview with him. I really like his album, but now watching this, it made me respect him a little bit more. It's one of the best interviews this year, in my opinion. Shout out to Westside Boogie. Get past the lisp, though. That's it. Once you get past that.
Shout out to him for having such an annoying voice and it not like affecting his rap. Because I've never listened to his album and thought, man, this nigga voice is annoying. But 15 minutes into that interview, I thought, man, this nigga sounds just annoying.
Yeah.
However, To everything that you said is true. I stuck it out because he was talking some real shit. 100%. He was a transparent and showed a lot of vulnerability, which I 100% appreciate in artists. So check that out.
Absolutely. Guys, another week in the books. We appreciate you tapping in. Listen, youtube.com/OnDeckTV show. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment too. Let us know your favorite B-side Wayne joints and any artists that you want to see a B-side episode for. That'd be appreciated, man. We take them suggestions. We read all of that shit. Try to implement them when we can as well, man. Anything else before we get out of here?
That is it, man. It's the On Deck TV show. We appreciate the support over the years. Keep rocking with us. We out.
Yes, sir.